Okay, I think we're ready to go. Okay, it's time for Myst. Real Myst, Masterpiece Edition.
I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse of which I had only a fleeting glimpse. I've tried to speculate where it might have landed, but I must admit that such conjecture is futile.
This was not here in the original Myst game. This little cutscene thing. That's why this is the Masterpiece Edition. Oh, okay. Oh, I need to take off my controller, because Myst is done through keyboard and mouse, mostly just mouse. It's just really it's a point and click. One of the all-time classic games. All right, clicked. Boop. Oh, good. You can see my mouse. Excellent. Point and click adventure, the OG point and click. I mean, maybe not the OG point and click, but the OG puzzle game mystery point and click. Like, and we're off. Loading screens. Oh, I wasn't aware of this stuff. Classic Myst, movement speed. Explore like in the original Myst by simply pointing and clicking to move forward. Hold down to keep moving forward. Or I can do free with mouse look speed. Explore anywhere using standard game navigation keys to move, and the mouse to look around. I think I want to free roam this. I remember the classic point and click to move things, and I remember it being frustrating. I think I want to use the upgrades. This is a masterpiece edition. Let's do that. I wasn't aware of what changes here. Escape key from main menu. Return to game, flashlight, helping hand, save and restore, settings, and quit. Up, new game with a little portal thing. Go ahead and save. Flashlight. What are the settings? What do we have? I don't know what interactive guides is. Automatically adjusts graphics quality when the settings on the weapons will change based on current performance. I can probably just do the max. Hold on, Stan. Let me pull up my task manager to make sure I don't overclock anything. When I do this, but I have an overpowered computer and this is Myst. So I think I should just be able to do max settings. Let's make it look freaking beautiful. Advanced settings. Sure, why not? Okay, are the max settings on? Let me just make sure. It's not super apparent. Super things. Yeah. I'm not sure I like that. That feels really clunky. Yeah, I think I like this better, actually. That's way too clunky. We're off. Let's double check, make sure everything's coming through fine. It is beautiful. And yeah, I'm not even at half my CPU, so I don't have to worry about that. I said I don't have to worry about that. Thank you. Push the button. Push the button doesn't do anything. Oh, no. Settings, dimensional imager. Topographical extrusion test 40. Okay, it's gonna be hard. I can't. Yeah, I have to actually write everything down. My notepad's a problem because I have to. I would have to get out of the window, and it disappears when I get out of the window. So I'm literally going to be writing most things down. Um, see, topographical extrusion test 40. Marker switch diagram 47. Water turbulence pool 67. So I'm at the water turbulent pool right now, probably then. Yeah, I am. Okay. What happens if I set to something completely random? So not any of those things. And nothing happens. Just curious. Okay, so topographical extrusion test is 40. So it's like a map of Myst, I assume? Okay, and that's really that really does for me right now. About 47 though. This is a marker switch diagram. Turn the volume down slightly. Jeez, Myst is loud. Why is Myst so loud? Here we go. Okay. I'm not sure why I care about any of those. Hmm. I legitimately remember like nothing about this game. In case it wasn't obvious yet. Okay. Oh, another note. Catherine, I left for you a message of utmost importance in our forward chamber beside the dock. Enter the number of marker switches on this island into the imager to receive the message. Oh, that's why it's a marker switch. That's what a marker switch is. I understand. I understand why that's a thing now. Well, let's go back down, and so we have one there, and we have one there, so that's 2. I'm going to try not to brute force these puzzles. I know there are some puzzles that, like, any type of game like this, like, I could go down to do, okay, 3, now try 4, now try 5. I'm going to see if I can get through this without brute forcing as few amount of puzzles as possible. Because that seems like more fun than trying to figure out the actual puzzles. So we got 3 here. And we have a chair. We'll worry about the chair later. We have a puzzle to do right now to get an important message. What was I at already? 1, 2, 3. There's a tower rotation. Once again, we'll come back to this later. There's potential puzzles everywhere, but we have a message. There's a boat. That's 4. And a spaceship. 5. 6. This is a way to make you actually explore the island too. It's clever. 7. 8. It looks like it's 8. Also, to be clear, I do know this. I'm not Catherine. I'm a completely random person who found a book just on the street, like in the real world. Like, I'm just a random person who found a book on the street in the real world. Touched the image. Touched the image that's so up in the book, and wound up here. That's the opening plot of the game. Because I do know that, and I can't say that with confidence. Okay, so 8 should get me a super secret message. That's not important. There we go.
Catherine, my love, I have my books had been destroyed. Catherine is one of our sons. I suspect Agonite, but I shouldn't leap to conclusions. I'll find him and Cirrus as well. Oh, I should have known better than to have left my library unchecked for so long. Well, I've removed the remaining undamaged books from the library and placed them in their places of protection. You shouldn't have to use the books until I return, but if you've forgotten the access keys, remember the tower rotation. Oh, and don't worry, Catherine. Everything will be fine. I'll see you shortly. Oh, and erase this message after you've viewed it, just to be safe.
I don't know how to erase the message. Remember the tower rotation. That's apparently my clue. So, something about his sons, and he suspects the one that's not named Cirrus, of messing up something. And he left his library unchecked for too long and removed undamaged books and put them in places of protection. Also, I'm supposed to delete the message, but I didn't see a setting for delete. So now we'll go back to the main library, because I do know there's something there. I don't know if it's progress necessarily, but something I do want to do. So we just got static. And now we put a page in.
Why? Bring me a red page. I can't see it. Need a red page, you must. Bring. I beg of bring. Shh. Help. I am serious. Give up.
Same as Cirrus. That's one of the guy's sons. The one he didn't suspect.
Rescue.
Well, that's disturbing. I want to read through all the static, though. And we have a blue page for the blue book. This was just static before you put the first page in, if I remember right. Just like the red one was.
Serious? Is that you? Are you? See you. You know. Help me. Bring me blue pages. Never. Pages. I must have the blue page. Bring them to me.
He barely wants the blue pages. That's what I got from that. Okay. He said to remember the tower rotation. That doesn't give me much information right there. What else do we have in here? Oh. Ceiling. Interesting. I have called this age Channelwood, and it's a very different world. Though it is exactly how I imagined it, it is still amazing to see with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see except for a small rocky island. Elsewhere there are only trees, which grow directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wooden passageways are built just above the water and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, for they appear aged. I am eager to discover more about this land and its people, but I've arrived here late and I must rest. I was awakened this morning by strange noises coming from a pathway adjacent to the one in which I had slept. I saw a group of monkey-like people heading in my direction. They had not seen me yet. I did not feel threatened by their presence. The response to me was one that I would have never expected. After staring at me for a short time, they fell to their knees and began what appeared to be some sort of ceremonial worship. I tried to speak to them, but they did not understand my language. Instead, they indicated through enthusiastic hand motions that I was to follow them. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below us were changing colors. Slowly, subtly, they would change from deep blue to muddy orange, then from muddy orange to beautifully clear. I was so intrigued by the water, I hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. Hey, tourists, doing pretty well. Climbing the ladder led us to their village, which is about 10 meters above the water and can only be reached by rope ladders that stretch from the lower part past the village level approximately halfway up the grand trees. It's very interesting watching these people carry out their daily tasks. Even after watching them for hours, I did not understand exactly what they were doing. At sunset, they motioned for me to follow them. I followed the creatures to the doorway of an enormous hut. Strangely, once inside, I found that the hut appeared even larger than it had from the outside. The walls were garnished with bright metals, and in the center of the hut sat the leader of these people. At least he appeared to be their leader, for he sat a meter off the floor in a thick throne. Guards surrounded the strong creature, who was dressed in many exotic, colorful fabrics. Next to the leader sat a very old human. At least to some extent he appears human. His hair, which was only on his face and head, was completely gray, almost white, and hung very long around his frail body. His thin head hung limply by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold its head up to look at me. But what a surprise, this creature could speak my language. Shortly thereafter, I was given a bed with some hand motions that looked to be telling me to go to sleep. I look forward to learning more. As I expected, the ancient creature is a human, but he is old beyond his own reckoning and seems almost insane. However, the tree dwellers almost revere him as a god. They are treating me now in the same fashion, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. It's almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He has adopted much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me he had not spoken our own tongue in ages. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place. The following is my best translation of what he has told me. Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was in a vast island. They interacted very little. The humans dwelt on the ground, and the tree dwellers lived high above the humans. Occasionally, the island was disturbed by mysterious rumblings, which happened randomly, some sort of tectonic or volcanic accident, I suspect. The sometimes slight, sometimes heavy tremors would only last a short time. Then they would stop, allowing everything to return to normal. One day, things changed. The rumbling began and grew quickly to unprecedented levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. Many of the humans died that day, but not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. The humans who lived through this catastrophe moved to the trees where they gradually died out, maybe because they're unequipped for such an environment, but I'm not sure. Interesting. This is the story the old man communicated to me, though many details are very unclear in my mind. I'm especially confused as to how the humans saved the island from completely sinking. In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own. Yet the old man believes in the truth of the story as if he had been there, and the tree dwellers worship him, and apparently all humans, as if they were heroes or gods. They were heroes or gods. The old man ended our conversation today with an event which I will never forget. He began gripping my hands tightly, murmuring something about rest and sleep. He then said, "We had expected you to come sooner." These actions filled me with a sort of immediate dread. With much effort, he stood to his feet. I tried to help, but he pushed me away with more force than I imagined his frail body contained. The tree dwellers quietly surrounded him with very solemn faces. They then kneeled before him. He walked to each and placed his hand on their heads. All the while, he murmured words which I did not understand. Finally, he turned to me and smiled. Then he closed his eyes and walked out the door and off of the narrow path high in the trees. The tree dwellers were silent. They began a procession down the nearest rope ladder. As I was descending, I saw several of them pick up the body. He had fallen to a low-level walkway and carry it away. He was laying down at the dead end of a short pier-like structure. With the use of some posts, and one of the tree creatures lit the pier on fire. Lit the pier on fire, and watched as the flames engulfed them. As the strange funeral proceeded, the waters around the pier changed dull green. This morning I awoke, finding it hard to even believe the previous evening's events. The water is a dull green for as far as I can see now. For some reason, the water no longer shifts color. As I wander throughout the pathways, the creatures watch me, curious to see what I will do next. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. I even found food outside the doorway to the room in which I had slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn the language soon so that I may learn more of them. This is a lot here. A lot of lore. I have lived in this world for 3 months off and on, and the tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I even began to learn bits of their language. I've decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife and my sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I am sure Catherine will once again refuse. I think this AIDS would be a wonderful experience for them all, and I at least look forward to how Sirius and Akinar will react to its current inhabitants. So, Sirius is in the red book, Akinar is in the blue book. Catherine is staying behind as expected. My sons have returned with me, and they enjoy this AIDS very much. They get along very well with the tree dwellers and are picking up their language surprisingly fast. I have no doubt that it will not be too long until they can speak with the tree dwellers much better than myself. I am leaving tomorrow to check on Osmoian AIDS. Sirius has suggested that I allow him and his brother to stay. Though the idea unsettles me, I know the boys are growing up rapidly. Hospitality of these creatures is such that I could think of no better place to leave them alone for a short while, so I will consent to their request. I warned the boys not to take advantage of the respect the tree dwellers have for their ideas. They seem to understand my warning and have faith they will follow it. Much to my dismay, upon arriving in Everdunes, I learned that Praninor people are continuing to be menaced by the Coctic. I fear for their survival and plan on returning to her shortly after taking on Sirius and Akinar here. See Everdunes to know for more information. Oh god. So, my entire rest of the stream is probably just going to be reading these lore books at this point. I have an hour and a half left that probably take me that long to read all these. After watching Sirius and Akinar, I see they are handling things very well, and I think I can put to rest any fears about leaving them in Channelwood again, and for a little longer time. The tree dwellers seem slightly distressed that I am leaving, but are happy that Sirius and Akinar are staying behind again. I have been gone for over 3 days and have been to many different places. I had to tell Sirius and Akinar about Priyan's death today, and they were visibly shaken, though they only remembered her from her childhood. Catherine suggested that it be wise for Sirius and Akinar to leave Channelwood for a while, and I have to agree. They'll be returning with me when I leave again. I have told my sons they'll be returning with me in 2 days. They spent the entire night telling me of an adventure they experienced in my absence, and it was rather remarkable. It seems they constructed a boat with the creatures and traveled some ways out into the surrounding waters. I enjoy hearing them talk excitedly of their adventures, and reminded my own adventures as a child. I finally understand why the tree dwellers have been giving me the remaining inks and insisting I write with them. Looking through some of my past entries, I see now that the inks have changed from the black I thought they were to various different colors. I have shown some... Jeez, I'm having trouble speaking now. I have shown some of the creatures in my journal, and they laughed and howled. I did not know they had such a sense of humor. Even now, as I look through this very colorful journal, I cannot help but laugh myself. We're returning tomorrow, so my sons are with the creatures for the last night here. They have told me they would like to come to Channelwood again, and also asked if they can visit some other ages alone. Though I have to think over their requests, I believe they have proven to me that they are trustworthy and responsible. Catherine will also have to help decide whether they are ready for travel alone. For now, I must give my farewells to the creatures, for I do not know how long it will be until I visit this age again. Let's see. So that's a map, the future bridge, windmill. Okay. Oh. Oh. Burned book. Oh yeah, all these are burned. That's sad. So much knowledge lost. The stone ship aids. Emmett was the first to live on the rocks. He named them the rocks because that is what they were. A group of sharp rocks clustered together in the middle of the large sea. This is where Emmett lived. He enjoyed his life. Emmett would occasionally swim nearby rocks, as it was never too far of a distance. One day, another person appeared on the rocks for no apparent reason to Emmett. Emmett named this new person Brance. Emmett and Brance quickly became friends, swimming and hunting for fish together often. Sounds like the beginning of a fairy tale right now. Emmett showed Brance a simple cave in which he lived on the largest rock. Soon, Brance discovered a place where he decided to live, also on the same large rock. The sun always shone brightly in their world, and the water was always dazzlingly clear, allowing them to see almost to the deep ocean floor which surrounded them. Dang. Though the sun always shone, it was never too hot for the boys. A light breeze always came from the north and cooled the area down. One day while Brance was swimming and having fun in the water, he noticed another boy swimming. Brance brought the new boy to Emmett to find out what to call a new boy. Emmett said the boy should be called Will. Will was soon part of the group, and all three of the boys swam and enjoyed their perfect world. At least, that's the story I was told when I arrived today on the island. Emmett, Brance, and Will were surprised to see me at first, but even before the night ended, we were all becoming good friends. Today, the second day on this newly created age, a strange thing happened. It was not strange to me, but the three boys did not understand what was happening. While I was relaxing under a large tree on one of the smaller rock islands, it began to rain. It was a nice rain that lasted for about an hour in the morning. I explained to the boys that the rain was not harmful, yet they obviously still feared it. Before going to sleep tonight, I told the boys I would leave the following day, so that while I was gone, I would make a surprising change in their world. They didn't understand, not that I expected them to. Interesting. I still do not fully understand what happened today. I was experimenting with the arts, testing the limits of the rules as dictated to me by Father. I attempted to create a boat by riding it into the world. I thought everything was planned correctly, yet somehow the boat had become gripped by the rock and broken in half. Although this test did not turn out as I had hoped, I now have answers to a few of the questions my father never answered. As for the boat, I can see the boys enjoying it anyway. I think that tense is wrong on that. And with that, I am pleased. They planned it all day. Even though the boat cannot move, I have enjoyed studying from it. It's a much sturdier platform than the jagged rocks. In the course of my observations, I've learned some very interesting things regarding the solar system of this age. It's a merciful lamp. The nights are absolutely beautiful here. I have made note of and named a number of constellations that pass above me. Also during the night, I catch glimmers of light from the horizon, which I've not been able to discover if it is, please turn page, created by some natural phenomenon or by additional people on far-off islands or rocks. I should very much like to discover which. I rather suspect it's additional people, which will explain the appearance of Brance and Will. I wonder if I can do something here. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh darn! I was looking for like an audio thing, like we have when you have like an audio book read, where it's like, please turn page now, or something like that. Oh well, that was good. It was a good idea, but I'm not just going to spend half an hour looking for that. Where was I? Natural phenomenon of medicinal people on the far islands rocks. So very much likely to discover which. I suspect it's additional people, which will explain the appearance of Brance and Will. The rain today was slightly heavier than usual. Just when the boys were getting used to the light rains, a small storm arrived. They were frightened of the heavier rain, not to mention the thunder and lightning. If rain has never fallen here until recently, as the boys tell me, I would like to discover why it's falling now. Regardless, I've decided to return home for a short while. I've also been thinking of some plans for a lighthouse that I hope to construct soon. I think that perhaps by shining a bright light toward the horizon might prove my suspicions regarding additional inhabitants. They'd be curious about the light and travel to discover its source, if they have the means. I returned with many tools I will need for construction of the lighthouse. I've decided that once the lighthouse is completed, I will leave for some time and let the world's own imagination have control. We have worked 3 weeks in the lighthouse now and are making great progress. The rock that we are building on seems to not be as secure as I would like. I've had to alter my plans slightly, but those alterations pose no real problem. Okay. The boys are quite strong and have been helping me immensely. I estimate construction will be done within 2 days. Lighthouse is finished, and we were all part of our creation. The boys are amazed at the structure wrought from rock with their own hands. That evening, we powered up the generator, much to the boys' dread at first, and signed Great lights to the horizon for many hours. I stayed the night on the top of the lighthouse. In the morning, awoke to observe the sunrise, without my being coated with a chilly blanket of ocean dew I had become accustomed to. It was Will who first saw the girl. She was swimming not far from the boat where Will was getting ready to hunt for fish. Will noticed a man not far away from the girl. Emma was very pleased to meet the additional neighbors. I feel pleased to leave this age. I've said in most events that have nothing to do with writing or the arts, that will have a more profound impact in this world than I could have ever written. I think. Stone Step AIDS, Bird Eyes View. Okay, so you have rock going up to it. Think of this AIDS as a gift to myself that I'll wrap up and open someday in the future, only to discover that it's changed so much that indeed it is a surprise. Besides, I've yet another new AIDS that awaits me. Seems I'm going to need some ways to travel underwater in this new AIDS, and so much planning is in order. It's been 10 years since I left this AIDS, which I have since called the Stone Ship AIDS. Upon returning, I cannot believe the changes that have taken place. The original 3 boys have grown into adults, and there are many new faces I do not recognize. Branch told me that it has not rained for 7 years, and the cool breezes are back again. They are all very content and have been serving me with new foods and showing me new materials they have discovered. It even seems they have found gold somewhere. I see it in many forms around the island. The lighthouse has been kept in perfect condition, and it looks as if they have tried their very best to keep it so. Yet I have noted the entire rock it was built on has sunk approximately 40 or 50 centimeters. After a wonderful visit with my old friends, I wonder aloud with them what things would be like here in another 10 years. Got constellations, got an anchor. So we have an eye constellation, a snake constellation. Oh, these are the constellations. So we have an anchor constellation, eye constellation, snake constellation, bug constellation, cross constellation, arrow, flamingo, leaf. That's probably going to come into play later, but I'm not copying down all these constellations. So I'll just have to remember what constellations are a puzzle thing. I need to go to the Stone Ship AIDS and read about it. So now we have... what is it called? The something of Myst? What does that say? The semantic work of Myst? That's Age of Myst. The something Age of Myst. I don't know what that word is. I have no idea what that word's supposed to be. It has been a while since I have heard only silence, and I enjoy it greatly, I think. For some reason, I do not feel altogether welcome in this new world in which I have arrived. But how could I be unwelcomed in AIDS with no inhabitants? It is, of course, only in my head. This world is very beautiful, but I think I've yet to ever write in a journal that AIDS I've linked to is horrid or disgusting. From the grassy hill where I am standing, I can see green fields below along with a few scattered forests. A rather large lake looms some distance from where I am standing, yet the water's blue can be seen plainly from here. The air is fresh, and the sky is sparkled with white clouds. It's absolutely breathtaking, yet that strange feeling again. Perhaps it's a hot breeze that continues to blow from the north. Hotter than I would have imagined, it almost senses my skin. I feel quite uncomfortable when it comes. I'll try to ignore it. Night has almost arrived, and the sunset is spectacular. Oranges and reds have settled above the western horizon. The night has come. The horizon still glows red long past the sunset. Dark reds flow from the horizon and blend into the black sky. Again the feeling, and I am beginning to believe it is not all in my mind. I must sleep now. I will need my strength to explore more tomorrow. I have had to return home due to unpredictable natural occurrence more frightening than I have ever experienced. I was awakened by terrible shakings in the ground and explosions on all sides of me. Gigantic balls of fire were falling from the sky, and I immediately left in fear of my life. Must remember to bring a Myst linking book with me when I return, in case the one left there has been destroyed or damaged. I've returned to a different world than the one I left only 3 months ago. It's been transformed into a barren desert land, with only gigantic craters scattered across the land to provide variety. Strangely enough, the small grassy hill where I saw my first night remains exactly the way I found it. Apparently the falling meteor does not hit this area, leaving an oasis in the midst of this horrible desolation. The hot wind I remember has turned into a rather pleasant breeze, which is at least one improvement. I fear it is the only improvement. That magnificent lake I saw on my first visit is not completely dried up. However, another lake now exists and appears to be quite a bit larger. I assume one of the falling meteors created this lake due to its circular shape and the jutting rock that grows out of the center of the lake. The rest of this world seems like desert, although I will verify that statement with closer inspection. Though this world has little visual excitement to offer, it offers much to the ears. Sounds constantly sounds constantly flow through my ears, and I have found where a few of them originate. It seems, as Catherine says, I do find beauty in everything. Last night I was awakened by a horrible hissing. I was sweating, and the heat was so intense that I immediately dipped my head in a nearby stream to cool it down. Hot breezes had returned, along with a low roar from the ground. I walked a short distance to observe some red flames shooting up from the earth. Suddenly, the ground began to crack and a huge chasm opened. The chasm continued to grow until it was far too wide to cross. Then the tumult subsided, leaving only a dull roar. I've decided, however, I can use the chasm to my advantage. Perhaps the heat from the chasm can be harnessed. The chasm collects heat and uses the power. Even as the chasm has ripped into the surface of this world, it has opened up a whole new world to explore. Although uncomfortably hot, I found it possible to reach a cave in the chasm that had been created. I have now explored deep into the crust of this planet. I have found a vast underground cave system that will take many years to map and explore. I will also look for a safer way to reach the underground than through the chasm wall. This age seems to change on its own, so I feel I should leave again and see if things are different when I return. It's also important that I check on Sirius and Achenar and make sure everything's going along well. When I return, I also hope to bring back some tools I will need for my plans to explore the underground. The abundance of raw materials here is beginning to amaze me. I've returned some of the complex tools I knew I would be needing. I assumed I would have to return for more basic materials. However, it seems as though I will be able to find everything I need here. Of course, iron is abundant, but I've also found titanium occurring naturally. I'm all the more excited to begin work. Everything's set and I look forward to tomorrow. My raw materials are all here. I think I'll be able to have most of my additions to this age completed within 1 year. I still love working with my hands, whether writing or building. Hey, Demon. Hope you're having a good day. I began today on the bridge, and although... blank. The magnetic idea will work well, and I've decided to. So that's a compass. And a disc he's making. 3 meters is not enough support for the beams, although it... amazingly strong. A sub type thing? Has to be one of my most prized inventions. I am extremely... blank, 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 blank. Could never have imagined it to come together quite as... I doubt. Could possibly work with 14 instead of 8. Completely fatigued. I am so happy to have completed. Tomorrow. I am leaving today in order to bring back Sirius and Achenar. I have left them alone in Sandalwood. I believe they will enjoy all there is to see here. The age seems to have stabilized. I believe the meteor set off a period of volcanic activity by piercing into the stellar crust, but the tremors have become few. I have just noticed that a large amount of this journal has curiously vanished from the very pages on which I wrote over the last 18 months. Fortunately, I've copied many of my construct notes in another journal. I do not understand the many mysteries of this world, but I trust I'll discover logical answers to my questions. I have a feeling that many of my questions can be answered in other aids, to which I hope to travel soon. But for now, I must simply accept this world's mysteries and take pride in my accomplishments. So when I find a piano, I need to do it in this order. Okay. So, I'm gonna make notes here. So constellations equals stone book. Piano order equals the Myst book. So whenever I find a piano, I know to come back for the Myst book to find it, so I won't have to be confused on that. There is a map of Myst. Look at me, already finding potential puzzle solutions. So it looks like we have 2 more books that aren't dead and burned. What does that say? I cannot read the title on that. Before arriving in this age, I was determined that it would be a journey to the world very different from my previous adventures, and it was. The sky here is dark and gray, and incessantly displays flashes of lightning in the distance. I met a very old man with a long beard and hair that hangs to his waist. He's very feeble and has trouble even moving. This man has obviously been through very many things in this strange world, and I have learned many things from him. He has told me an interesting story of this world's history. Years ago, he told me, there was a beautiful city that rose up out of the water. It housed many people inside its walls, and the people had everything they wished for. The city was surrounded by 3 high hills, which rose higher than the city. On the east hill of the city rested a large lookout post. The people of the city had constructed the post expecting visitors to arrive from the east. The people had no means of traveling on the water, which forced them to merely wait for friend or foe. As time passed, friendly visitors brought rumors of an enemy that existed beyond the horizon. The people grew fearful, yet nothing happened. One day the usually sunny sky became as dark as night, and black ships appeared on the horizon. The lookout post's attempts at peace were turned away, and the sentries there were easily overwhelmed. The ships continued to wreak havoc on the city, apparently destroying everyone and everything. After the foundations of the city were destroyed, the city sunk deep into the ocean and only the lookout post remained. The black ships sailed away. Dang. That sucks. The man continued to say that 8 people had hidden a man to survive through the attack. In the 9 years since the attack, 2 of the survivors had died. He also said that it was rumored that 10 years from the attack, the enemy would return to finish the destruction they had started so long ago. I've decided, since hearing the man's story, it would be admirable to save the civilization and stop the enemy's plan of destruction. I'm excited about the adventure that awaits me, and an idea that has sparked in my mind to provide the needed defense for these people. I met the remaining survivors today, and I've begun work on a plan for protection. So we have a gear room. Okay. After a short absence, I returned to this age with my 2 sons. They have, as of yet, traveled rarely with me and are understandably excited to be here. They have grown considerably since Everdunes, and it's already obvious to me that they will be a great help this time, instead of the nuisance they have been in the past. All 3 of us, along with 4 of the healthier survivors, began construction today. We are building upon this old city's ruins, which provide a perfect foundation for our fortress. My sons have been spending much of their spare time on the South Island, where most of my materials are stored. I am very pleased with their intelligence and their creativity to refresh in the sea as they work on some small projects of their own. Okay, so stairs can happen. It's been over 4 months now, construction is going well. My sons love the world except for its gray sky. They detest the gray sky and tell me many times they wish the sky here were like the blue sky in Myst. The old man I first talked to tells me that the enemy is due in 4 months. I fear we will be ready when the time comes. The man reminds me of Emmett in many ways, and I often wonder how Emmett and his people are doing. It has been 6 months of work, and we have finally finished the fortress. It rests between the 3 hills, which are now only islands due to a rising water level that the people experienced after the attack. Inside the fortress, I've designed the most intriguing device. It makes use of a technology called holography. I began experimenting with on my visits to Aspermere. It will be working in a couple of days after I compensate for some small miscalculations. This holographic device will enable the survivors to learn to use the fortress. So we got power, we got track slope. The enemy is due to come soon, and I trust the fortress provides sufficient protection for all of us. Interesting. So you basically have a center. Okay, so you have a center fortress, and then you can make a bridge to the 3 islands. Basically, it's a situation where we make a bridge to the islands. That you rotate around. Neat. The black ships have come. Their attack was substantial. The weapons have been stopped, and it appears they have turned away in defeat. I cannot help but smile as I watch the boats leave. So they have an insignia of the black ship. Last night we had a small celebration. The old survivors danced their dances of old. My sons did not understand why the sky had not turned back to its original blue. The old man told them that the storms would never end until the enemy was destroyed. I assured my sons that the blue sky was not worth the risk of death, and they seemed to hear me. I've had a healthy adventure, and I've begun working on a new book. Once again, I must leave a familiar aids in search of a new universe I have begun. But first, I'll have an extended time with Catherine, whom I miss very much. Let's also return to the people of the Tide. I believe in my travels I have found a substance that will ease the pain of their bone ailments that they have long endured. I hope to return to mechanical aids one day and find the population growing when my fortress so long. So this is mechanical aids. Though the sky may always be black, I'm confident the people here feel a heavier darkness has been lifted from their soldiers. Soldiers. Okay, so we're learning a little bit about what he's doing as well. It looks like he's making these areas, basically. I have a ping. Who pinged me? It was not a worthy ping. Okay. Back to the game. No, I said back to the game. Game. Okay, so like I said, it seems like we're kind of learning a little more about him, basically. So it seems like he's through something called the art that he learned from the father. He's able to create worlds, basically. He's in a way able to create worlds that he then travels to, and does it for the sake of curiosity, I guess. Like he goes there just to curious what the world's like, and then he does that and kind of lives with them for a while. This is the law of his life. A lot of these things, like I spent months here, I came back after 10 years, type of thing. So that's interesting. This doesn't have a title. There's nothing on here. Rhyme, I have named it. A desolate age with a beauty that's quite different than I expected or imagined. The intricate feathers of ice that fall from the sky are awe-inspiring. I feel as though I could sit and watch them for hours. And though it is cold here, like I have never experienced before, I find myself enjoying the change of temperature, for it's unlike any other place I've ever seen. Perhaps the oddest thing is the silence. Although the wind blows on occasion, when it ceases there is a suffocating silence that falls in this place, broken only by the distant cries of unseen creatures. I have visited 3 times and am certain now that this age will provide the environment I need. I believe the cold temperature is necessary for obtaining the correct resonance. Examining the structure of the books is ever more perplexing, but I'm driven onward by my need to understand. The great tree of possibilities can never be fully grasped, but I must at least try to find one particular branch. On the subject of enlightenment, I would also like to find the cause of the mysterious lights that shine in the darkness here. Though I never assumed that I would be able to build especially fast here, the speed at which I am progressing is somewhat disappointing. I do think I will bring Sirius and Achenar here, as well as some of the machinery from Selenitic. I'm not sure when I played this game originally that I actually read all this stuff and like understood what was going on. Achenar chose to stay with Catherine, but Sirius is rather excited to come. He has spent the last few days here with me, helping me with the beginning phases of construction. He too seems to enjoy the ice and cold weather. He's intrigued with the crystals that we have brought with us. He has been a big help, as have others, and hope to be able to begin my experiments here soon. Tonight, Sirius and I found a wondrous spot to view the lights, although it seems they decided to hide from us. After sitting in the cold winds for over 2 hours, we saw nothing. It was rather disappointing. Sirius will return to Myst tomorrow. He has been a tremendous aid to me, and I'm thankful for his willingness to help. The hard part of the construction is over, though I have decided after tonight that I would like to add some kind of observation point. It won't be finished as soon as I had hoped, although I'm fairly certain it will be worth the delay in the long run. I've decided to take a break from the construction now that the tunnel is almost complete and I've been able to set up a temporary space where the crystals will not be simulated. I'm quite convinced that with the right diffraction resonance, certain properties of the ink can be simulated. Catherine still finds it absurd and thinks I'm crazy to assume I will be able to view ages with stones, but her unusual pessimism has not convinced me to stop trying. I came too close to success on Everdunes. Interesting. I'm fairly certain now that temperature indeed does have an effect on the crystals, but I have realized that temperature alone is not enough. The cold dampens some of the sympathetic harmonics, but a more active suppressor is necessary. No, I definitely did not understand this all as a teenager. There is no way I understood this, like, actual complicated terminology as a teenager. I've acquired some geodes with a... I almost certainly skipped through all this. I've acquired some geodes with a pure protected crystalline interior. Thin slices of the geodes below each crystal provide a stabilizing effect and even amplify the clean frequency slightly. After quite a bit of experimentation with the shapes and colors, I was able to capture a blurry image within a book, though the aids would never work. There was clearly an aids on the other side. I can hardly wait to return and tell Catherine. I feel like I should finish the staff to my observation point while I have the machinery here. Perhaps tomorrow morning. Lights were beautiful again last night. They had not shown themselves for so long I had almost forgotten their beauty. I still must find the cause. I'm feeling rather overwhelmed with what remains to be done. Crystals have not been perfected, the staff is not finished, nor is observation post, or even lab. I have not seen Catherine for some time, and I long to spend more time with Achenar and Cirrus. Besides all that, there are far away, in the back of my mind, the thoughts of my people in our lost city. I dreamt again of them last night. I have only seen the city in its worst condition, and still, its beauty overwhelmed me. Even now, as I visualize how majestic it must have been before the destruction caused by Vilvis and Agarus, it amazes and saddens me. I am fairly certain that Dini is not dead as my father believed. I am convinced there must be some who managed to escape this destruction, and even now continue to survive in separate ages. Interesting. Within me is an urging to take the chance and return to Dini to find those survivors and properly rebuild a city. However, I can do nothing until I am certain of the fate of my father. If my plan failed, if I missed a single book when attempting to trap him on Riven, then he has been free all along. What? Within me is an urging to take the chance and return to Dini to find those survivors and properly rebuild a city. However, I can do nothing until I am certain of the fate of my father. My plan failed if I missed a single book when attempting to trap him on Riven. He has been free all along. So he turned on his father and trapped him on Riven. The second game is named Riven. I wonder if there's a relation there. If that is true, then all that stands between him and the aids I have now written is a link from Dini to Myst. As much as I wish to return to Dini, without knowing the state of my father, I cannot risk re-establishing that link. I must observe my father without re-establishing that link. It has taken several years and there have been many dead ends, but I have partially succeeded. Now that I've managed to view another aids using the crystals, it's only a matter of time until I view Riven. At least I hope. Catherine will have her ideas about all of these things, and I miss her greatly. I will return to Rhyme later, when my mind is cleared. So 40 on that. Didn't I review on 40? I did. That's a topographical extrusion test. It's 40. Well, that doesn't help me at all. I want to check these other books real quick, just to see. Hey, Couple Records. This is what I call an Amnesia playthrough. I beat this game as a teenager. Like 15 or so years ago, I beat this game, and I have not watched or played anything with this game since then. So I remember nothing but overarching plot points and what happens at the very end. I know what I need to do at the very end to get the true ending, but otherwise, I remember nothing. And I'm pretty sure as a teenager, I did not understand half of what I just read here. I'm just making sure there's nothing in any of these burn books. I'm suspicious of these burn books. It's let me click on each of them, so. In a hectic puzzle game like this, I want to be extra thorough. Ever played Abduction? I do not know what Abduction is. I've never heard of Abduction before in my life. So no, I have not played Abduction. What is Abduction? Made by the same people who made Myst. Why did you capitalize Myst like that? Interesting. The only of these types of puzzle games I played before are Myst, which I beat, you know, as a teenager. Riven, which I did like the very opening area. Using voice recognition software, that's what it is. Ah, got it. And an old game called Riddle the Sphinx. My dad played. I don't think he ever beat it, but I watched him play that. I remember there actually was a Kickstarter recently, like a couple years ago. Oh, we found a thing. So this far book on the right. 1, 2. A lot of different formations, so. Where does this go? I will keep clicking. This has to have an end at some point. So they're like, you're not brute forcing this. We're going to give you 300 puzzles, and I'm sure at some point you'll be told which of these puzzles to use for something. Yeah, a good way to prevent brute forcing is to have 300 variations and a fairly complicated pattern to do for each variation. Okay. Oh, I should write down that book, though. Hope you're having a good time. Did I ever beat Riven? No. Neither me nor my dad ever beat Riven. So I know nothing about what actually happens in Riven. So I do have Riven. I will play Riven eventually. So middle, self, far right. 300 puzzles. I have an actual notepad I'm writing down on. Like an actual physical notepad. Because this game, I can't click out of it without it disappearing from my screen. So I can't use Microsoft Notepad without getting my laptop. Anything else in these burn books? Any books I missed? Oops, not click out. Screenshots would go to the same screenshot thing. It's more pain than it's worth. Like I consider it if I'm doing a specific puzzle that I think needs it, but hi demon. I said hi earlier. But for now I'm fine with pen and paper, notepad. Okay, that's all the books. We have done our reading. Still have an hour left to stream too. I thought that would take like the rest of the stream time. Okay, got a fireplace. Button. Ah. That's for the 300 puzzles. So I have to find out which of the 300 puzzles to use and put it in the fireplace. Also ceiling. So at some point we'll keep that in mind. And what's in here? I done this earlier, but I wanted to read the books first. This is Real Myst, on Steam. This is the Real Myst Masterpiece Edition. I'm using the original controls. I'm using the point and click controls because I found the walking around controls is actually really clunky. Okay, well, I'm at the library now. Oh, okay. I had to close the door before I could go somewhere else. Welcome to the tower. Yeah. With this, do not tell me, do not hint or tell me anything about any puzzles, like, at all. Very, very much, I will be so angry at you if you spoil puzzles. Okay, that's the library thing? No, you haven't. I was giving a general warning in the chat. Just some people were asking, like, have I played this before? What's my knowledge of the game? That was not directed at you. In any way, shape, or form. Okay, so there's nothing up there, at least at the moment. What about the key area? Is there anything up here at the key area? There's a wall. I found a wall. I love walls. Probably have to do something else and then come back to the tower. No worries. No worries, Corporal. Like I said, I did not mean that aggressively or anything. Everyone has been great so far. So, do something else. Something happens in the tower, probably. Oh yeah, there's a tower rotation, that's right. Which spot is me? This spot me right here? I do like that my mouse goes up on the screen so you can see what I'm doing at any given time. Oh, I can't leave while that's happening. Interesting. Oh, that's the other side. It's the other side to get rid of the... Now we can leave. It's dark now. It was not dark before. It was daytime before. It was definitely daytime before. Okay, time to go to the dentist. So we need daytime year. Yeah, we need... Yeah, we can't be brute forcing that. Yeah, we're not brute forcing that. We need more information for that. That's good to know that that's there, though. I'm just curious why it became nighttime. What did I do that made it nighttime? I haven't solved any puzzles yet. I haven't done anything. I've read books. All I've done so far is see the message. To I assume Catherine. Yeah, no, he did say it was for Catherine. Catherine, who never got the message, because I, random person, am here instead. I assume that's to the gear aids. Those mentioned before. Makes sense. That'll go to the gear aids. What's this? These are the constellations. Yeah, I remember these. These are the constellations that are in the stone book. I guess that's why it's nighttime, so I could see the constellations or something? Hmm. Okay, what's in here? Got a little bit of a mine going on here. What's the button? What just happened? Okay, we need more information. Oh. Power to sip, generator switches. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Got it. But we don't know what settings we need. We need more information to know what settings we need. We are lacking in information right now. I feel like the constellations is the first thing I need to do. Myst. I could probably brute force that, to be honest. I won't, but I probably could. Hey, look, a hut. Oh, there's a thing. There's a safe. Okay. Hmm. What just happened here? How am I over here? Oh, what? Ladder. Found that by complete accident. I wanna go see the missile. What's with the half-sunken ship? What's with everything going on in this game? What is anything? Okay, so I need to find a generator to start that. Obviously, just follow the wires back to the source. Yeah, it's not gonna open till the power's on. Oops, I did not mean to do that. I clicked out of the game. Let's follow the wires and see where they go. Just out of morbid curiosity. Oh, they go to here. Right. What is this? Oh, that's another one of those things. Okay. I've turned on all the constellations. Does that help me, though? Hmm. Can I take this with me? So it looks like tower rotates and there's a gear. And it leads to this and it leads to that. Let's go find the gear. Okay, yeah, the gear. That's that. So this has a big part to do with the tower rotation. It's our curiosity. Let's sit to something. Hmm. Oh! There's a light switch. Ah! Okay, so I can view constellations, but what good does that do me? Let me go back to the constellation book and see if I get any hints from that. Let's see. Constellation book is a stone book. There we go. Is there any dates on here? Definitely seems the constellations is what I should be focusing on. It seems like I actually have something to do there. How was that helpful? Let's check this again. All these have to work together in some way. So we have a book symbol. We also have a key symbol. Should I be focusing on the key then, in some way? In fact, that means I should be focusing on the key. Like, that's a constellation I should pick out in some way? Oops. Okay, so... do that. I'll draw out the key constellation in my notebook. There is no key constellation. What? I'm drunk. There's an arrow. But I think there was a key constellation. I could draw them all out, I guess. Actually, I got a better idea. See if the snipping tool works. Dang it doesn't because it freaking minimizes every time. I hate that it minimizes when I click out of it. Okay. That. Small dots. Star. Dots. Big star. Anchor. Okay. Dot. Big star. Big star. Dot. I. So, got dots. Big star. Dot. Big star. Dot. Dot. Big star. That's snake. It's definitely a good thing I got a notebook for this. Dots. Big star. Dot. Dot over there. Big star. Star. Dot. Dot. Star. That's bug. What's this pen would stop dying on me too. Okay, so we have big star dot, dot in the middle, star, star, dot, star. That's cross. How many more do we have? 3, okay. It's like, geez. Okay. We have dot, dot, big star, dot, dot, big star. That's arrow. Star, dot, star, dot, 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 I don't know how that's a flamingo, but okay. Flamingo. And then last one. Sorry you guys can't see like my actual work. Not really possible with this. Star. Star. That is leaf. Okay. All the constellations are copied down. Don't know what this means. Why is there a sip here? Okay, what I think I need to do, I think I have the idea. I think what I need to do is find a constellation in the observatory. Like actually find a constellation to come out here and press which constellation it is. I think that's what I need to do. Wait, what am I doing? I need to turn off the light. Lights. It'd be nice if I had like a date to go with, but I think I can just... If I do everything up at the full top... That goes upright some. That goes upright more. That goes down right. That more fine-tunes it. This seems overly complex. Do I not have a date listed anywhere that I can use? Like, if I'm looking at what I have right here... Now, this isn't helpful. There are too many permutations. I need more information here. Hey, it's sunrise now. It's. These things did tell me to go do number 40 down here, so I'll go do 40 again.
Catherine, my love.
Oh, this is that thing again.
Quickly, something terrible has happened. It's hard for me to believe. Most of my books have been destroyed. Catherine is one of our sons. I suspect agony, but I shouldn't.
Well, the 67 for the water turbulent pool. Yeah. That sweet old water. See, I don't get what the point of this is. Oh, I can actually go around to the back. Holy crap. It's even locked inside. That was what I was missing all along? Okay. I think that's more. I think that just rotated the tower. Well, I was right that I needed more information on that constellation thing. Come on, tower, be rotated to where I can do something, please. Let's go, tower. Let's go. Oh. Closed door. Now elevator. Welcome to the tower floor. Okay, nothing there. Doesn't look like anything changed here. Where did something change then? Something changed. And I made sure I set it to a position where it was changed, not the original. So it's a matter of figuring out what changed. Both still weird. That's still like that. No, I didn't want to click you. Nothing new there. There is a clock there. It is worth noting. There is a Myst clock there, which is 2:05. Not sure if it's AM or PM. That could be relevant to the constellation puzzle. Unless 2:05 is the hint for this thing. Worth a shot. Maybe this way? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, from neutral position. Oh! Oh, I'm changing the time. This changes the time entirely. Huh. I learned something. It was unfortunately not what I wanted to learn, but I learned something. What? Get out. Let me go back to that original thing I saw by accident. Which isn't this, but See anything changed here? No. I like that I'm already stuck at like the second puzzle of the game. This is a good sign. I'll see if there's different changes when I press the button on a different one. Oh, that only happens on 40? Interesting. Interesting. What does that mean? No, we don't have much time left before I have to stop. What? Seriously? Doesn't he be on first? Did I accidentally solve this puzzle? Did I completely accidentally solve this puzzle before and just figure it out now? Yeah. Has to be on, that's why. I completely accidentally solved this puzzle before. Holy crap. Okay, so you have that. You have the missile sip. And you bonk, bonk, bonk. Where's the book that talked about 40 anyways? Like, give me a hint, maybe, with the pictures. Because I was like, why do I care about 40? I already know about 40. Now I care a little more about 40. So let's go find that book. See if it gives me a hint of what that does. I don't think it was his first book. No, was it this first book? I don't think so, but no. I'll keep it on the pictures though. Definitely wasn't the Stone Age one. Here's a piano puzzle whenever I find a piano. Oh, wrong button. This last one? So yeah, rhyme. Yeah, it's telling me Set it to 40. Turn it turn it on 40. Then there's a button on the back. It's showing the button on the back. So yeah, that's the direct thing it was showing me. This is telling me I think the tower rotates and is connected to the observatory. We need more information for that. There are too many permutations. Yeah, bump, bump, bump. It's this that changes. It's this right here. Like this walkway right here, it looks like it's what changes. It's just a walkway. Yeah, there's no power until I solve the generator puzzle. This is very much a how do I get started situation. So day-night cycle is this how long you spend in the game type of thing. Why is this boat here? It mirrors this boat, is what it does. It mirrors this boat. That boat mirrors this boat. Maybe if I unsync the small one, it'll unsync the big one? I have a lot of theories right now. Let's turn that thing again. No, you pricks. I feel like I should notice a change at that. Like, you hear rumbling and all that. I should notice something changed. So was there like a tower in the distance I saw? It is a tower right there. It's probably the library tower. Oh, Atris is the guy's name. I didn't pay attention to that part before. Oops. How was there no noticeable difference here? Other idea, maybe I enter in whatever constellations actually appear in there. Maybe that's why I turn green, all the constellations that actually appear. Maybe that's what I have to do. Okay. Do I see an anchor? Or like next to her? Oh, this is complicated. This is actually what I want to do. How do I parse this? I feel like the green is entering the constellations that actually appear. I feel like that's what it wants. Well, let me check the constellations book again. I feel like I got the idea of the puzzle. Hmm. My question is there a difference? Is there a difference in how the constellations appear when you have like a super shining one versus a smaller one like that? Like, is that an actual difference that I need to pay attention to? Or is it just dot versus super shiny? Because that could make a difference. We have small dots here. We have shiny ones here. So do I see an anchor? I feel like that's too much to look at. Right here we have 3 signing next to each other. Then it's changed. Or these start changing. Look at these ones real quick right here. You're changing. Yep. You're changing. I need an anchor point. I don't have an anchor point. Yeah, I have to have some type of anchor point for that because those are changing. There has to be somewhere a note I'm missing that tells me what time to try. I'm confused by that. I'm literally clicking all over right now. What if I do this and look around again? Hmm. Close the door. I feel like there'd be something weird on the wall or something. Why isn't there something like written on the wall? I haven't saved in like forever. I have a flashlight. I forget to use that. Or the flashlight is part of the puzzle. That's not anything. I don't know. I'm legitimately perplexed by this already. That didn't last long. I got the general idea of what I need to do for a couple different things, really. But I'm missing key information. I wonder if I've already been given the solution and I just don't know it yet. That seems like that's a direct puzzle answer, but I haven't seen a piano or anything like that. Hmm. bothers me that the solving that puzzle didn't seem to do anything. Oh crap! It's time for Critical Role. So, I just started the game and I'm already stuck. That's great. That's honestly to be expected. What's this? I don't remember. Oh, that's a save menu. I'll think of that more. But yeah, that's it. That's it for a stream for me today. Thank you all for joining me. Are you? There's that. Yeah, but me. We finished Castle Platform Jamboree. We did it. Now we're on Myst. And at this rate, we're gonna be on Myst for a while. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining me today. I'm gonna host up Critical Role. I'll see you again next Friday, so a week from tomorrow, for more Myst. Hopefully, we figure something out. I feel like I'm just missing a note somewhere that tells me what to do. Like, I feel like the constellations is what I want to do. I feel like constellations is what I need to do. I'm just missing a key information on you know what day, time, year to put it at. Because there are way too many permutations to do that, and when looking up at the sky, that changes on you. So you have to get a note or something with that information. You just have to. It's impossible otherwise. Yeah. Take care, everyone. I'll be hosting some Critical Role. See you next Friday. Take care.